Hello everybody, Tony Rush here. Welcome to the webinar. Very glad you're here today. This webinar is all about how I've been able to create a six-figure monthly income in network marketing without all the hassles. So if that's of interest to you, you are definitely in the right place. We're going to get started in just a moment. I'm going to grab a quick bottle of water. If you haven't said hello in the chat box yet, please feel free to do that. I'd love to know who you are. We're going to spend a few minutes together today. It'd be nice to kind of get a sense of who you are and where you're from. Let me grab something to sip on while I'm talking, and I'll be right back. Okay, we got a few more people coming in who've joined us. Folks are still coming in fact. Fantastic. Once again, my name is Tony Rush. If you just joined us, welcome to the webinar. Today we're talking about predictable income, how to create a six-figure monthly income in network marketing. We're going to get started here in just a moment. If you haven't said hello yet, feel free to do that in the chat box. Let me know where you're from. I'm coming to you, by the way, from my home office here in beautiful Dothan, Alabama. Hello to Robert. Good to have you in Chicago. Nice to have you. Feel free to say hello. There's Tammy in Toronto. Welcome. Philip in Charlotte, North Carolina. Philip, I grew up about an hour from where you are, about an hour east of you. So, beautiful part of the world. Nice to have you. Glad you're here. Got a lot of people coming in. Nice to have you. Ivan in Christchurch. Very cool. We got folks coming from all over the world today. Great to have you. So let's get started. This is going to be a very different kind of webinar from anything you've probably ever attended. I'm going to show you how I've done something. I've never explained this publicly before. I've never actually taught this openly. I've taught it to people that I've personally enrolled in network marketing, and I've taught it to private clients. But this is a conversation that's very, very much like the one that took me out of being a broke, struggling network marketer who couldn't figure out which end was up to becoming a multiple seven-figure income earner in network marketing. So if you follow along with me, what I'm going to share with you absolutely will revolutionize your business. So first of all, let's make sure everybody's in the right place. Here's who this webinar is for. Anyone in network marketing who wants to make an executive level income, doesn't matter what your product or service is. If you want to make a 6 or 7 figure income in your business, this is for you. In terms of skill level, if you're an established network marketer, you've been in the business for a few years, maybe you've got some systems and automation set up, but maybe you're not really earning what you think you should be able to earn, then you're in the right spot. And if you're a new network marketer, if you're brand new to the industry and you've kind of already got a sense that, you know what, I don't want to have to, years of trial and error and grinding, I'd like to learn this thing and build it right the first time. If that's you, you're in the right place as well. Matter of fact, anywhere in between there. So if you fit in any of these categories, you're going to enjoy today's webinar, and I promise you it will make a difference in your business. Here's what we're going to talk about. I'm going to show you how to turn your current network marketing business into a realistic 6-figure monthly income, even if that number sounds amazingly out of reach right now. Okay, I'm going to show you how to have prospects waiting in line to ask you for information about your business, so you never ever have to chase prospects or wonder if you're going to sponsor somebody in your business today. I'm going to show you the number one place to invest your time and your energy so that you get the highest return on investment and the highest return on energy. This one's probably going to surprise you because of several things I'm going to teach you today. This is one of the ones that's pretty much the opposite of what you've been taught. So I think you're going to get a lot of value out of that one. We're going to talk about how you can find where your ideal prospects are hiding out online and how to reach them easily. I'm going to show you how to generate, nurture, and convert your prospects into sales without ever picking up the phone, without doing three-way calls or home parties or ever even explaining your business to another person. And we're going to talk about what I call the predictable income model that will let you reach a point in your business where you're not stressed out and you wake up every morning knowing that you're going to get paid. And I'm going to show you how to do all this without any prospecting. In fact, let me go ahead and just tear the Band-Aid off right now, okay? This is probably going to come as a surprise to many of you. Prospecting is one of the biggest wastes of time in the network marketing profession today. And I know that goes against everything that you've probably been taught, okay? Heck, it goes against everything that I was taught when I first got started. Nonetheless, it is true. And I'm going to prove it to you on this webinar. I'm also going to give you a set of strategies that I used to scale my business to a six-figure income every month. And I've done this multiple times in multiple companies. I'm going to show you how I've personally, not my downline, but me personally, I've sponsored over 3,200 people in my own business in less than 3 years. And I did it without buying leads or doing presentations or prospecting, home parties, no chasing friends and family, or any of the stuff that network marketers really, if they're honest, they would have to admit they really don't like doing it. And I'm going to show you why almost everything that you've heard about how to be successful in network marketing is geared for creating hundredaires and thousandaires, not millionaires, and to do it in what is pretty close to the slowest possible way. And then finally, when we wrap up, I'm going to show you the 5 shifts that you can make in your business today so that you can get on the fast track to a much, much larger income, and you can do it in less time than you're currently working right now. So here's my promise to you. When we wrap up here, you are going to have a very clear understanding of how to get from where you are to a six-figure monthly income using predictable, reliable processes instead of trial and error, guesswork, and hope. And if you stay around to the end, I'm going to give you something special, something that if you use it, it really will help you earn your next $10,000 much, much faster than your last $10,000. And I promise you're going to love it. Now, that's who this webinar is for. Really quickly, let me touch on who this training is not for. It is not for people who are in a get-rich-quick deal, money game, cash gifting program, pyramid scheme, people who want to jump from deal to deal every time the latest, greatest, hottest new thing comes out. Okay, if that's you, this ain't going to work for you. I'm just going to tell you straight up, this is about creating a large, sustainable income as a professional network marketer. So this is probably not going to be your cup of tea. This is also not for people who just want to make a couple, $200 or $300 a month. It's not my place to tell you what your goals should be, but let me frame it this way. What I'm going to show you allowed me to go from zero to $1,000 a day in personal income within 90 days. So if the question is, well, will this help me make $300 a month? The answer is, yeah, sure. It's a little bit like going rabbit hunting with a nuclear weapon, but it will work, I suppose. So you're welcome to stay for the rest of the class. I do think it'll help you. But I would also like you to consider that it actually doesn't take that much extra effort with what I'm going to show you to make $10,000 a month with the same amount of time and effort that you're using now to make $200. Okay? I know that, again, that may seem hard to believe, but I'm going to prove that to you in a moment. This is also not for people who are trying to figure out which network marketing company they want to join. So if you're trying to decide which company to join, you're more than welcome to stay on the webinar. Don't mind at all. But please understand that this conversation today is not about how to choose a network marketing company or comparing pay plans or anything like that. So please don't ask questions in the chat about, how do I pick a company? What's my favorite pay plan? They're great questions. It's just that's not this conversation. Okay? So ideally, you're already enrolled in a network marketing company and it's something that you love, it's something you're passionate about, and you're ready to take it to the next level. And then lastly, this is not for people who need to make a bunch of money in the next 2 weeks because you're in an emergency and you're looking for a miracle. We've all been there. I think probably all of us have been there, so I feel for you. But again, this is not a Band-Aid. This is about creating a career, a sustainable network marketing professional career. So really quickly, let me give you a couple of tips on how to get the most of our time together. Number one, go into airplane mode. Okay, you've been on an airplane and the flight attendant says, hey, turn off your electronic devices or put them on vibrate, turn off your Skype, your Facebook, like anything that's going to beep at you or distract you, television, whatever. Let's turn all that off and make sure that you are completely present for what we're going to go through. If you have family or spouse, girlfriend, partner, kids nearby, let them know that you're in an important meeting. Okay, we're going to get started here in about 90 seconds. So take a moment, let them know, hey, I'm in a meeting, I'm going to close the door, and let's just really make sure that you get what I'm putting out here, because I can't think of many other things you can do today in 45 minutes or an hour or so that would make as big a difference to your bank account as what I'm about to show you. So if you'll give me the respect of your attention, I promise you that I will make it worth every minute of your time. And then last thing, make sure you got a pen and paper or an iPad or something you can take notes on. And in my case, I've got this this bottle of water here. So let me get another little sip. And then, one other thing real quick. I have a really nice business manager named Bill and a really nice attorney named Aaron who love this next slide. So we're going to have some pretty candid discussion here today about actual amounts of money. That's what you came for. So they like for me to show this. We're all adults here. Okay, my results are not typical. We all know that having unusual success in anything is about your investment of time, energy, and commitment. I've worked hard. I've worked hard for the success I've got, and so is my business partner, so is our team members. So what we're going to talk about today is not get rich quick, push button millionaire stuff. Okay, this is about building a sustainable business by working hard with strategies that make sense. And I'm sure that probably all goes without saying, but it makes Bill really happy when I show this slide, and we like Bill to be happy. Okay, so let me ask you a question. Do you ever start your day and wonder, who am I going to talk to about my business? Have you ever thought, I know I could be successful doing this if somebody would just show me exactly what to do? Do you have a real product or service, something that you're excited about, something that really would make a difference in people's lives, but you're frustrated because you can't even get people to slow down long enough to take a look? Have you ever had that experience? Let me know, by the way, in the text box here. So I'm going to kind of glance at this while I'm talking. Have you ever been in a conversation with a prospect and you feel a little weird talking about time freedom and financial freedom because you don't have it yourself yet? Have you ever had that situation? Have you ever done this? You ever had a great month in your business and then the next month things went back to normal and you really didn't know what you'd done to improve? Have you ever said, my income's like a roller coaster? I can't seem to get it dialed in. I can't seem to get a predictable income going every month. Or have you ever said to yourself, a lot of people won't admit this out loud, but have you ever said to yourself, I love my goal, I love what I think I can achieve, but I don't really love what I'm having to do to reach it? Or have you ever said, I see other people who've gotten started after I did, and they're making great incomes. They're knocking the cover off the ball, but I don't know what they're doing that I'm not. It doesn't make any sense. Or maybe you've had what I call the dark thoughts. It's 2 a.m. in the morning. You can't go to sleep. Everybody else is asleep. And it's just you and that little voice in your head. And you think, I don't know how much longer I can keep believing in this when it's not working. Or have you ever said, it just feels like it's easier for everybody else? Why is it so easy for everybody else? Nobody seems to struggle with it the way I do. Or maybe you've said, what if I'm fooling myself? What if I don't have what it takes to be successful in this? What if what if there really is something, some genetic thing? I just don't have it. If you've ever had any of these thoughts, just let me know in the text box there, the chat box. I have. I'll be very candid with you, and I'm going to tell you a little bit of my story in just a moment. But my basic question is, does it seem to you that network marketing is a lot harder than it's supposed to be? I mean, for something that's as simple as it is, doesn't it occur to you that more people should be winning? And I'm here to tell you the answer is yes. Network marketing is much, much harder than it ought to be. But there's a reason why that is. And it's actually a symptom of a larger problem. And what I want to do today is I want to talk about the real problem, not the symptom. Okay? And here's the real problem. The real problem is that you don't have a strategy that creates predictable results on demand. I want you to put that phrase in your notes. Predictable results on demand. Now, I want to be careful here because I'm using this language on purpose. Okay, I'm not talking about a system right now. See, the old answer used to be, well, you got to have a system. You got to have a new system, the latest, greatest system, right? And listen, systems are great. Systems make things easier, but they're only as good as the model that you're operating in. And when I say model, I'm not talking about your network marketing company. Over the years, I have worked with thousands of network marketers, and I'm not exaggerating when I say the number one source of struggle that I see that creates all the frustration comes from network marketers who are engaged in an old model. In other words, they've never bothered to actually stop and consider how their target audience, how their ideal prospects want to work, spend money, earn money, and live. This is a little bit of a slippery concept, so let me give you a clear example. This will make complete sense to you. Okay? I'm going to use this as an example. In the United States, the average school year revolves around a 180-day schedule. Okay? It varies from state to state, but it's 175 to 180 days. Now, where did that number come from? Is that based on a study that somebody did about how much time kids need for optimal learning? Did they interview the top students? Did they do 20 years of research and say, this proves that this is the best way? And the answer is no. No, that's not where the number comes from. Here's where the number comes from. The 180-day school year was invented when America was an agricultural society, when 40% of Americans were farmers, and they needed their kids to be home to help on the farm. That's where it comes from. So if you look back 150 years ago, the 180-day school year makes perfect sense, doesn't it? And this is a fantastic example of how a model can outlive its usefulness. 150 years ago, this worked fantastic. But how much sense does that model make in the 21st century when only 2% of Americans are farmers? And with all the technology that we've got today, kids can earn more in a day than they used to learn in a week. You see the problem, right? Type in the chat roll if you can see how an old model outlives its usefulness, and it can completely hijack your results. Let me give you another example. This is one that'll be even simpler to understand. And pay real close attention because this is probably going to turn a corner for you. This is what I call housefly syndrome. And what I'd like you to do, I'm going to stay on this slide for just a second. If you want, and you're somewhere that you can safely do this, I want you to close your eyes and think about it. I'm going to give you a picture to imagine. And I'm going to stay on this slide. You're welcome to keep your eyes open if you want. But I want you to picture that you're sitting in your kitchen. And there's a housefly on the window. And he wants to go outside. And the fly is on the glass. And he wants to go outside. And it's right there. I mean, literally, he's millimeters from his goal. Watch that fly. Watch him. He moves around the window pane. He checks the corners. He keeps buzzing. He keeps flying. And it's easy to see what his strategy is. Try harder. Work harder. fly a little bit harder. Now, across the room, I want you to picture there's an open door, and it's not even 12 feet away. All this housefly has to do is change his strategy. That's it. With a fraction of the effort that he's spending on the window, he could be across the room and out the door in 5 seconds. It would be so easy. But it doesn't look easy to him, does it? Right? I mean, he's been working on this window now for an hour. He hasn't made a dent. And he's certain that, if I could just push a little bit harder, I'm going to get what I want. And here's the thing. The housefly is betting his life on it. He just knows if he can push a little bit harder, he's going to get it. But here's the thing. He won't. He will burn up the last hours of his life trying to push through a piece of solid glass. And in a few hours, he'll be dead. And somebody will come along and sweep him off the windowsill. My friend, it is no different in network marketing. Every day we see good, honest, hardworking people who want to be successful, who deserve to be successful, and they've got the exact same strategy as the housefly. They're using a wrong model. And their strategy is, I just need to try harder. But see, most of the struggle that networkers experience can be traced back to working like it's 1985. So while most networkers are struggling to figure out which end is up, here's what's interesting. A much smaller group are getting massive success with a fraction of the effort. They've found the doorway. They've turned just a little bit, and they've spotted the correct strategy. And they're using what I call the new model. And they're starting from scratch, and they're getting monster results, 5-figure results, their first $10,000 a month in their first 3 to 6 months. And once you discover the new model, what I call the predictable income model, you'll never wake up in the morning and wonder if you're going to make money. You'll have a new sense of confidence and less stress. You'll stop trading time for dollars. You'll discover the real leverage that you've always wanted in network marketing. And you never have to call leads or do one-on-one presentations or 3-way calls or chase prospects. And you're going to discover that network marketing does not have to be the grind that a lot of people think it is. And you really can crash the party at the top of the pay plan. And the results that you want in your business is really just a matter of letting go of what's not working and trading it for what does. Does that make sense? Does that sound good? Does this housefly analogy, does that make sense to you? Okay, tell me what you think there in the chat box. Okay, and I want to dig into this. The key to this is having the right strategy, having the right process, okay? You can't wing this stuff. Okay, this is not something you can trust your gut on. But once you have this strategy that I've used to earn millions of dollars in network marketing, how I've built teams who've exploded their own incomes, the business becomes so fun because you don't have to do any of the stuff that you hate doing, okay? And I'm really excited about this because this is something I've never really taught openly in public. Also, I want to get to know you guys a little bit. As you can tell, I like to talk back and forth with you, and I like you guys talking to me in the chat box. Real quick, if you don't know who I am, let me give you just a quick snapshot for those of you who don't know me. I am married to my high school sweetheart. Her name's Jessica. We've been married since 1999. We have 3 sons. And we live in Southeast Alabama, which you could probably tell from my accent. I'm the co-founder of a company called Business Labs Pro. We do marketing training, specializes in helping small business owners and entrepreneurs earn more money doing what they love. But it's important for you to know that what I'm about to show you is not theory. As a network marketer, I have built incomes of over $100,000 a month in multiple companies, multiple times. I've personally enrolled over 3,200 people, and I did it with the process that I'm about to show you, and it involves absolutely zero prospecting and zero phone calling. And for the last several years, I've done training, coaching, and consulting for various companies and organizations and networkers in 11 different countries, and it's been the most amazing and rewarding experience. But here's the thing. It wasn't always this way for me. And it's really easy for somebody to look at somebody like me and say, oh, he had it easy. Or imagine, that I had some advantage. It's not true. I grew up on a farm in central North Carolina. My dad was a Baptist minister. My mom worked at Eveready Battery. We were not wealthy. I don't think anybody in my family probably ever made more than $25,000 a year. The most I've ever earned on a job was $8 an hour. And prior to what I'm about to show you that I learned, as a network marketer, I enrolled 0 to 2 people a month. Usually 0. Okay? So previously, I was not a sponsor monster. I wasn't somebody who could just snap my fingers and lots of people would just come running. After Jessica and I got married, I finally got my income up to about $3,000 a month, and I thought I was full-time. Disaster struck, and I had to go back to a job. We had no income at all. I took a job doing sales training for a home security company. If I called the name of the company, you'd probably know it. And it was awful. And I spent most of that time during that stretch dodging bill collectors, not opening my bills, trying to figure out how to get somebody to turn back on the power or turn back on my telephone. The worst it ever got was that last winter in North Carolina before we moved. We had no heat. No heat in the winter. The gas company wouldn't come fill up our tank because I hadn't paid the bill from the previous year. So I would get up in the morning and turn the oven on broil and leave the oven door open to try to get the kitchen warm enough so that when our sons got up, they could come and eat cereal in the kitchen and not freeze. And that's what life was like when I started. And I got in this cycle where I'd get this pattern of having some traction, make a little bit of money, get my hopes up, and then it would fall apart. And then I would do that again. And it was a cycle over and over and over. And I was doing what I was taught. I was working hard. I was following the system. But my income was completely erratic. It was all over the place. I was on the phone constantly, during lunch, during dinner, late at night. We're at the movie theater. My phone would buzz. I'd go out in the lobby. I can't tell you how many times I've missed the last half of a movie. Because, hey, it's a prospect calling back. And it's feast or famine. It might be somebody that wants to get started. So most of the time, no matter what I was doing or who I was with, if my cell phone rang, I took the call and I had a conversation. Now you might ask, well, did it work? And the answer is, well, sure. Everything will produce a result if you do it long enough. But just because something works doesn't mean it's the best way to get a result. One day I had a rather uncomfortable realization. And this might be an eye-opener for some of you, if you've never thought about this. But I sat down at my desk one morning, I put my headset on, and I was getting ready to, start calling. And I had a realization that if my business doesn't make me money unless I personally show up, then I don't have a business. I've got a sales job. That was uncomfortable. But that was the realization. I wasn't a business owner. I was a telemarketer. And I didn't even know it. And it gets worse. If you stop and think about it, the minimum wage worker down at McDonald's had more certainty about getting paid that week than I did. And that's still true today, by the way. The guy making French fries at McDonald's right now while we're talking, the guy standing behind the counter, he has more certainty about getting paid next week than 95% of the network marketers who are struggling with their business. My friend, that is not why you and I got into the network marketing profession. And worst of all, the message that I was sending to my kids was awful. The message I was sending to my kids was basically, you can't make money and be happy. Making money usually means you're going to have to do something you hate. and being happy is what you can do after you finish work. My friends, I was stuck. And everybody who knew me in network marketing saw me making a little bit of money, and they thought, oh, he's got it figured out, you know. The truth was, I was a housefly. And just like this housefly, my plan was not going to work. And one day I had the good fortune to run across a guy named Nick. Nick was the one who showed me that my problem was not my work. The problem was my strategy, my model. So one day after talking to Nick, I had a thought that occurred to me that I'd never thought of before. And it was simply this. If I signed up in a network marketing company without ever knowing anything about the industry, like maybe I was on a deserted island or something, I didn't know anything about how all these gurus and training experts all said that you're supposed to build the business. If I got started in my company today, would I build it the way I'm building it right now? If Oprah Winfrey were in my exact situation, is this how she would spend her time building the business? That was the question. If Steve Jobs signed up in the company today and he had the same amount of time and money and resources as me, would he do it the way I'm doing it? And the answer was no. No, they would not. That realization, and then making the changes that I'm about to show you, raised my income by over $60,000 per month in the next 7 months. Can you imagine? That is amazing. That is an incredible leap in income from just one idea. And it all is based on this idea, what I call the high cost of grinding. And I'm going to just kind of hurry through a couple of bullet points here. Here's the problem with grinding. And when I say grinding, I mean doing all the things that I've mentioned that we all really don't like doing. The prospecting, the phone calls, the chasing friends and family, the bumping into people at Walmart and asking if they'd be interested in looking at a home business, or sitting in the coffee shop and drawing circles on the back of napkins and explaining the business, and kitchen table presentations and spamming our Facebook walls every day and telling people what a great product we got. I mean, type in the chat roll here if you've done any of that. I mean, I've done it. I'll raise my hand. I'll be the first to raise my hand. I have done all of those things. But there's a lot of costs here. It looks like you're working for, cheap, but you're not. It's very expensive. The high cost of grinding is this. Number one, there's no leverage in prospecting. Network marketers love to talk about leverage, but the moment that you have to actually talk to somebody one-on-one in order for them to make a decision to get started, you don't have any leverage. It's a one-on-one conversation. You have no leverage. Most prospects are not serious. In fact, what most people call prospects are not even prospects. They're suspects. The person in line behind you at Walmart that you strike up a conversation with, they're not a prospect. A prospect is someone who's actually interested in what you're talking about, not someone who could just be available for you to pitch them, right? A lot of people are kicking tires. They're curious. They're not serious. Maybe they're looking for a job, right? Or they won't answer their phone. They won't call you back. You name it, right? The return on energy for prospecting is almost zero because of what I just described. That's actually where the term prospecting comes from, is like gold prospecting. These people with the pans, and they're scooping up hundreds of pounds of dirt in a day to find a speck of gold. It's horribly inefficient and grueling. There's no potential for 24/7 growth. Why? Because if somebody has to speak with you personally in order to buy from you or join your business, then your income is automatically limited by how many hours you're going to be available, right? It's the same problem for international growth. If you live in Atlanta, Georgia, and somebody in Sydney, Australia wants to get started in your business, but you don't have a system that allows them to get started without speaking to you, then now they have to wait till you wake up. Either that or you have to sleep with a phone under your pillow. So there's almost no potential for automated international growth. But here's the thing. As bad as all those are, that's not the biggest one. And I want you to take a note on this. The real reason that people don't join your business is not something that you've thought of. If you've ever asked, why aren't people joining me? Or I forget joining, I can't even get them to look at what I'm offering. They say no without even looking. If you've ever wondered why that is, there is a reason. And if you get nothing else from my training today, this will change your business forever. So I want you to write this down. Prospects are not saying no to financial freedom or time freedom. And in a lot of cases, they're not even saying no to your company or your product. They're saying no because they can't see themselves doing what you're having to do to get them in the business. Really get that. Okay, think about what it looks like to them. If you're chasing friends and family, you're making hundreds of phone calls a week, you're doing home parties, you're running around town, you're learning HTML and CSS and programming websites, and you're doing one-on-one presentations every night of the week, and you're constantly spamming your Facebook wall about your business. Again, how many of you guys have done these things? I've done them. But my friend, if you're doing these things, you are losing your best prospects. And I look around the industry and I see lots of really good, hardworking people who are driving away their best prospects. Not because what they're doing doesn't work, but because they can't see themselves doing what they see you having to do to get them in the business. When I got this, I did something totally unreasonable. You're going to love this. When I got that, here's what I did. I stopped working the way 95% of network marketing trainers and gurus said I should work. I stopped prospecting. I stopped taking phone calls. I stopped explaining my business to anyone. I stopped having closing conversations and three-way calls. And I started completely over from scratch. Now, you're probably wondering, wait a second. You stopped prospecting, you stopped presenting, and you stopped closing. How did you make any money? That's a good question, right? Okay, here's exactly what I did. You're going to like this. Number one, I set up a predictable income model that was based on how people move, think, shop, buy, and make decisions today. Not 1985 or 1975, okay? Not even 2005. Number two, I discovered a way to find out exactly where my ideal prospects were hiding out online. I ran one little $15 ad that targeted my ideal prospect. And it was a little different than what you normally see. And here's what happened. In the next 24 hours after running my ad, I had 61 people ask me for information about my business. Think of it. I didn't have to chase anybody, call anybody. I didn't have to ask anybody to look at my business as a favor. I had 61 people who raised their hands and said, "Hey, Tony, I've got time, money, and interest, and I'm interested in some information about your company." 61. I did a little bit of sorting. Of the 61 people, 21 people went through a presentation. It was a very relaxed presentation that treated people with respect and intelligence. 3 people pulled out their credit card and instantly enrolled in my company as a member and purchased a product. And I made a little over $175 in the first 24 hours. As an interest rate, that would be like putting $15 in the bank and making $175. That's an interest rate of a little over 1,100%. Can you imagine how exciting that was? Can you imagine how that felt? Now, don't miss this, okay? I used to call dozens of prospects a day, and I spent hours on the phone, just like that housefly pushing against the glass, okay? And here, I've enrolled 3 people in one day. Can you imagine what that felt like? Can you imagine how you would feel if you enrolled 3 people in your business today? Absolutely mind-blowing. It completely changed my perspective about the industry. Okay? So here's what I did next. I reinvested my profits and I ran another ad, this time for $50. And that $50 brought in over $600 in commissions. I had never had so much fun in network marketing in my life. No phone calls, no prospecting, no hassles. In my first 30 days, I averaged between $225 and $375 every single day. And even better, I had over 80 people on my team who were experiencing similar results by using the same method. Within 90 days, my friend, my combined income daily, that's my personal efforts plus what I was earning from my team, I was earning over $1,000 every single day. Within 6 months, I had completely surpassed the income that I had created with the old model of grinding, and I did it with 1% of the stress and the hassle. And in our 11th month in the business, we hit $118,000 income for that one single month. That's not my complete total earnings for 11 months. In the 11th month, my income for that month was a little over $118,000. Can you imagine what your life would look like to go from zero to a 6-figure monthly income just by changing your strategy? It's phenomenal. Now, let me give you some straight talk. If you've been on a lot of webinars, you know that right now, this is where somebody would normally jump out and introduce their new, automated marketing system that's going to do all the work for you. Okay? And I'm going to give you some straight talk. That does not exist. And I know everybody claims to have one, and you know as well as I do, if you've ever bought one, it does not exist. Okay? The results that I'm describing do not come from buying whatever latest whiz-bang automated push-button money marketing system that's been announced in the last 15 minutes. Okay? I'm talking about a shift in strategy. Okay? I'm talking about making new decisions about how you move in your business. So let me show you, let's let go of the old model, make room for the new. Let me give you a nuts and bolts example, and you're going to want to jot some notes down on this. Here's how most people work their businesses. Okay? Let's make a chart here of the things that you have to do to build your business and how much time they take. And if you can jot this down on your pad there, this will be helpful for you after we finish up. Number one, first thing we got to do is find some prospects to talk to, right? Looking for prospects. Average person in network marketing spends a little over half their time on this. Blogging, posting, Instagram, Pinterest, Snapchat, making videos, writing articles, 30%. I'm probably being generous here. Talking to prospects, about 5% of their time. Closing the sale, 5% of their time. And then working with their team, these are the folks who usually get the leftover time because everybody's so busy trying to make sponsoring and enrolling people. So that's a snapshot. Now, it varies, obviously, person to person, but that's a fair guideline. Now, here's the problem. Let's look at where the money is made on this list. Looking for prospects, 0. That doesn't pay anything. Looking for prospects is not an income-producing activity. Working on your blog and posting, 0%. Talking to prospects, actual prospecting, the act of speaking to a prospect to get them to look at the business, does not earn money. Closing the sale is where you make 80% of your money, and working with your team to help them create an income, which gives you indirect income and leverage, that's 20%. Now, let me ask you, and I want you to type this in the chat box. What do you think of this chart? What's your first reaction? Let me ask this. Have you ever seen this chart? Let's start with that. Have you ever seen this? No. Never seen this chart? Don't you think this is an important chart? Like, wouldn't it seem that this would be probably something that brand new network marketers should know? I do. And nobody ever showed me this chart. I had to figure this out. Okay. Okay, and we've got a couple of aha moments here. Oh my God, right? That's a common response. Shocked. When I draw this out for private coaching clients, it's a jaw dropper. Most of the time is spent in network marketing. Most of the time is spent on things that don't make money. So is it any wonder that most people are stuck on the glass like a housefly? Now, let me show you how I work my business. Let me show you how I and my team work our business, okay? Here we go. Looking for prospects, 10%. Blogging, posting, 0. Talking to prospects, 0. Closing the sale, 50%. Working with team, 40%. You see the big difference here? It's right there. Right there. I spend most of my time on the thing that makes me 80% of my direct income, and I spend the second largest chunk of my time on the thing that makes me my indirect income. Okay, here's what I want you to write down. I want you to put a big circle around this. If it's not producing income, I want you to either stop doing it, minimize it, automate it, or delegate it. Okay? Either stop doing it, minimize it, automate it, or delegate it. Okay? You cannot believe the kind of numbers that you can see when you have a strategy that lets you put your time and energy on the things that actually produces the most results. We did over $10 million in sales in less than 6 months, and we built a team of thousands of people by what I'm showing you there. And the best part is I did it with no prospecting, no calling leads, and I didn't explain the business to anybody, not once. In fact, during the busiest part of the campaign, my wife and I took off 2 weeks and we went to Europe. We took a trip to London, and our business continued to grow. We were enrolling people every single day in our business while walking around Buckingham Palace and Big Ben, seeing London. It was absolutely fantastic. And we would not have been able to do that with the old model. Okay? When I made this shift in my business, I went from enrolling 1 or 2 people every once in a while to enrolling 1 or 2 people a day. And you can too. So what I'd like to do is show you, here are the steps. Here's the 5 steps that I took. And you can take these same steps today. It's called the predictable income model. And I'd love you to take notes on this. Number 1, you want to start investing your time, not spending your time. You want to identify and focus on income producing activities. The lady who's making $100,000 a month has the same 24 hours that you do. So the only difference is how she spends her time, how you spend your time. Okay, we all get the same 24 hours. It's how we spend it that determines whether we get rich or whether we get broke. Okay, this one concept is huge. And if you do nothing but this, like this one thing, you'd be amazed at how fast you can 10x your business. Okay, number 2, understand systems. Understand what they are, and also understand what they're not. I'm going to take just a moment here to show you something that, again, I doubt you've ever heard. There's a difference between a system and a process. A process is a sequence of events, and most networkers think they have a system, but they don't. Or if they have a system, it's outdated. So a process is a sequence of events that lets you produce a result, and a system is the thing that executes that process. And I'll give you an example. Let's say that one of our customers contacts our support department and says, hey, I bought this product and I've forgotten how to access it. Okay, here's what our support staff would do. Number 1, they look up the order. Number two, they verify that the person did in fact buy the product. They give them instructions on how to access it. And then last, they make sure that the customer feels taken care of. Okay? That's a process. Process is about solving a problem. Okay? Now, a system is how you do it. So let me show you something. There's the process, right? In 1935, that process would have involved paper invoices, filing cabinets, and probably somebody would have licked a stamp, right? In 1995, that same process would have involved phone calls and fax machines. And then today, it doesn't require any of that. We actually solve that problem right on the customer's computer screen in a real-time chat. It literally would take less than 90 seconds. Problem solved, front to back, almost instantly. So the process hasn't changed any, but the system has changed dramatically, hasn't it? Does that make sense? Okay, this is the quicksand that most network marketers are stuck in. They don't realize that the process stays the same, but the system has got to evolve. It has to evolve. You see, your best prospects are looking for a way to reach their goals by working in a way that makes sense today. And if you can show them that, they will join your business in a heartbeat. Okay? Would you guys like to see some of the tools and strategies and systems that we use for our business? We'll get another drink here. Yes. Okay. Good. All right, very cool. All right, so the first one is about finding how to find your ideal prospects. There's a lot of ways to do this, and there's a lot of different ways that we use. There's a lot of different ways to research who your target market is, how to find them. I'm going to show you the quick one. The easy one is to simply find someone who's already massively successful in your industry and just look and see where they're getting their traffic. It's called modeling. Now, here's one of the tools that we use for this. It's called SimilarWeb. Okay, this is a free tool that lets you do research on a competitor or a marketer, and you can see how much traffic they're getting, where they market, where most of their traffic is coming from, if they're doing any display advertising. It'll show you their ads, where they're running. You can even see how much they're paying for their ads. Okay, it's a great tool and it's free. It's called SimilarWeb, if you want to jot that down. I use ClickFunnels every single day. They've got a couple of different plans. This is not a free tool, but you can get a free trial account. There's a link there on the screen if you want to open a new window and grab a free trial. But you can do that in just a moment. I'll give you the link again. They have a couple of different plans available, but ClickFunnels allows you to build entire sales funnels with the push of a button. Okay, so for instance, the page that you came to register for this webinar, that was made in ClickFunnels with one click. So they've got pre-built funnels that work great for network marketers. And if you want to grab a 2-week free trial, you can do that there. Another tool that we use is called Welcome Mat. I use this on my personal site, and it works so well that we started using it on our company site. And this is a free app that you put on your blog or your website, what it'll do, it'll display a full page opt-in to your visitors the moment they hit the page, and it's really easy for them to bypass it if they want to. If they bypass it, they won't actually see it again. But it's fantastic. We use it on multiple sites. We get anywhere from 30 to 100 leads per day, depending on the website, with this one little tool, and it's free. And you can get that at SumoMe. I believe it's sumome.com, but it's called Welcome Mat. One of the strategies that I have used for close to 10 years now is to use quizzes or surveys to pre-qualify. In this example, this is actually a company that does alkalinity products, nutritional products, and they basically take them through a 6-step quiz that at the end of the quiz, the system kind of calculates their answers, and based on their answers, it will direct them to the offer that you want them to see. And usually they have to fill out an email address to to get the results of the survey. So, and you may have done these, but can you imagine what you're doing is you're basically engaging the prospect before asking them for anything. So, they're on your site, they're using it, they're filling out these questions, these surveys, and then, after about 3 or 4 minutes, they're about to get the payoff of the quiz or the survey, and they want that result. They want to know how they did, or they want to know, what the outcome was. So they fill out an email, and now you've got a prospect, a very qualified prospect. And you can do this with ClickFunnels as well. There's also some WordPress plugins that will do this, but these are called quiz pages or survey pages. Self-liquidating offers are a great way to monetize your marketing. And this is kind of a miniature training here. I'll just mention this real fast. Let's say that it costs you $20 to run an ad, and you get 40 people who fill out the form. Well, what if right after they fill out the form, and before they even see your network marketing offer, what if they saw an opportunity to buy something from you? Not your company, but you. What if you had something that you could sell them for, say, $10? So if you run a $20 ad and you get, say, 10 leads, and then 2 of these people also decide to take you up on your $10 offer, your leads are actually free, aren't they? Because you actually earned $20 on a $20 ad. So now you've eliminated your lead cost, and you've still got 10 leads or 20 leads to offer your network marketing opportunity to. Okay, this is sometimes called a funded proposal. You may see it called a self-liquidating offer. Same thing, and it's a great way to monetize your lead generation. That way, your lead costs are always zero. So if somebody asks you how much you spend on advertising, you could say, well, actually, I make all my money back, so my ad cost each month is zero. Okay? And there are tons of these systems and strategies that we use. Most of them are free or cheap, and they make business so attractive. But here's the important thing that you need to know. In order to have a predictable income, you have to have a system for generating a steady flow of traffic, generating leads, engaging your prospects, converting sales, and helping those folks get started fast and help them start duplicating. Number 3, understanding the pipeline principle. Most people who look at your business need multiple exposures to make a decision. And this is what we call putting people in the pipeline. Most network marketers have the approach of, so-and-so went to the presentation, but they didn't get started, so I'll just forget them and move on. And the result is, because they don't understand the pipeline principle, they wind up quitting in 90 days saying, well, I couldn't get anybody to start. But when you understand the pipeline, when you understand the different stages that a prospect goes through before they say yes and join, you've got a massive advantage. Okay? And because you have plenty of people asking about your business every day, you're never stressed out. You're never wondering if you're going to enroll somebody. Number 4, you'll like this one. I'm going to have to touch on this one kind of quickly. There's a lot. We could spend a lot of time here, but we're just about done. You have to know your numbers. Okay, I'm not going to take the time to go through all of these, but at a glance, you can tell that top earners are looking at their business very differently than most network marketers do. And there's lots of these kinds of numbers that give us fingertip control over our business and help us create a predictable income. If you've never seen this before, don't be overwhelmed. Okay, it's literally, we're talking 3rd grade arithmetic here. If you'd like, I'll show you a very quick example of a basic sales funnel and how these things work. Would that be of help? If I walk you through a funnel? Okay, great. Yes. Okay, super. Okay, so here's a basic sales funnel. In this situation, here's our ad over here on the left. Let's say we run a $10 ad, and you use one of the tools that basically show you where your ideal prospects are hanging out. So you run a $10 ad, and let's say 50 people come to your website. So 50 people click the ad. Of the 50, let's say half of them say, yeah, I'd like some more information. They fill out a form. And now they go to your sales presentation. And of the 25 people that go to the presentation, let's say 2 people decide to purchase. On an $80 commission, let's say if this was an $80 commission funnel, that means you would earn $160. Okay, now let's break down what some of these numbers mean. CPC is cost per click. It basically just means how much do you have to spend to get somebody to come to your website. So all this is arithmetic, where if you have a $10 ad and 50 people come to your website, you just divide the 10 by 50 and you find out that it cost you 20 cents a visitor. That's all. Okay? The next number would be CPL, which is cost per lead. And all we're doing here is saying, okay, well, I had 25 leads. Let's divide a $10 ad divided by 25 leads. That gives me 40 cents a lead. See? It's really easy. It's just, it's literally third grade arithmetic. CPA is not the accountant. CPA means cost per acquisition or cost per sale. What's it cost you to produce a sale? And in this scenario, you would again take your $10 ad, and you had 2 orders, so it cost you $5 to make a sale. Okay? It's pretty simple, right? And in this scenario, that $10 ad produced $160 of income. So that's a 1,600% return on investment. But that's what these numbers mean: cost per click, cost per lead, cost per acquisition. And I'll show you one more number real quick. LTV is another one that we watch, lifetime value, because you're not just making money one time, are you? You get paid over and over and over when folks continue to buy products. So let's say you made $80 when somebody signed up from your little $10 ad, right? And let's say that them buying product every month for the next year earns you an extra $30 a month. So in 12 months, you would earn $360 of residual income. And what we'll do is we'll add that $360 to the original $80 that we earned right when they got started. And that gives you a lifetime value for that customer of $440 from a $10 ad. That's not too bad, is it? Isn't that amazing? So once you do that, all you have to do is turn up the volume. Okay, and here's what I mean. I'll show you the same funnel again, except this time, watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you the same funnel, except this time we're going to use a bigger ad campaign. We're going to reinvest our profits, right? We'll do a bigger ad campaign, and I'm going to be more conservative. Let's say that it works half as well as it did just a moment ago. So this time we're going to run a $200 ad. Okay, we're going to spend much more money than we did the first time. But with the same cost per click, you have 1,000 people coming to your website now. And let's say that instead of 50% of them asking for information, let's say that only 25% ask for information. So we're going to be even more conservative here. So you have $250. 250 leads. Let's say 20 people placed an order. That means $10 per acquisition. Actually, my number's wrong right there. But in that scenario right there, at $80 per sale, you've made $1,600. Okay, that's still a 400% return on investment. So the question is, if you knew that putting $200 in advertising would produce $1,600 in revenue, how many times would you like to do that? And the answer is as many as you'll let me, right? Okay, this is called scaling your income. Okay, start small, you get it dialed in, and then you increase your marketing. This is what I did. You remember the slide that I showed you a few minutes ago of I ran a $15 ad, and it made me $175. And then I made it a $50 ad, and it made me $600. And I kept reinvesting my profits until I was making over $100,000 a month using a proven process. Okay? So if you're not keeping track of these numbers, start doing that today. Start doing that today. You will not believe what it'll do for your business. Okay? Last one, number 5. Is this a value? Are you guys enjoying this? All right, great. All right, number 5. Take the escalator, not the stairs. Let me teach you something that made a tremendous difference in my business. Your current income in your business is a reflection of your current understanding of how to make money in network marketing. In other words, if you're not earning the income you want, you don't have a money problem. You have an awareness problem. There's something you don't know. That's all. In other words, there's nothing wrong with you or your company or your product. There's the problem is there's just something you don't know. Just like the housefly doesn't know about the doorway. You don't know what you don't know. And just like the housefly doesn't know about that open door 12 feet away, if you're stuck in earnings in your network marketing business, there's just something you don't know. That's all. And this is why every top earner I know invests in education and mentorship, without exception. Without exception. I've got a friend who makes about $18 million a year in his company. He just got back from a weekend with his coach. It's a guy you probably never heard of, but why? Like, you might ask, why would somebody who makes $18 million a year have a coach? And the answer is because he wants to keep growing. He wants to continue improving his business. My business partner, John, who I'll introduce you to in just a moment, John and I just wrote a check for $10,000 for 2-hour conversation with a gentleman. 2 hours. Why? Somebody would say, why would you spend $10,000 for a 2-hour conversation? Answer, because what we learned in those 2 hours was worth a 7-figure new revenue stream for John and I. It's far outweighs what we spend on the education. And the common mistake is that struggling networkers often say, well, I know I need education, but when I've got more money, I'll get the education. And that's where I was. I used to think like that, but that's backwards. Because if you don't get the education, you can't get the money. You have to have the education before you'll get the money. Maxwell Maltz once said that nobody can consistently perform above his or her level of self and education. In the last 20 years, I have probably spent around $250,000 on education, learning, coaching, consulting, trying things, figuring things out, going to conferences, learning from experts, and all of that brought me to where I am today. Every dollar that I spend on education and mentoring comes back to be multiplied. So top earners take the escalator. Everybody wants a shortcut. Everybody wants to know how to go fast. Here's how to go fast. The only true shortcut I know is you can literally cut years off your learning curve. You can save yourself tens of thousands of dollars in frustration and trial and error simply by being willing to invest first in education and mentoring. So take the escalator, not the stairs. Okay? That is a bird's eye view of what I call the predictable income model. Was that helpful to you? Was that good? I like this picture. This is how sometimes people feel when we covered information. That's a lot of information to cover in a relatively short amount of time. It's like drinking out of a fire hose. But was that valuable? I see a lot of yeses. I've got notes. Somebody said, what is that? Oh, I've already got 6 pages of notes. That's fantastic. Okay. So as you can imagine, we're scratching the surface here. It's very difficult to try to cover as much as I've covered in a single conversation or a single webinar. And I have so much more that I can teach you. So what I would like to do is sit down with you and actually get into some of the nuts and bolts here. So I have a question for you, which is simply this. How would you like to keep the conversation going? when I say conversation, I'm talking about let's get into the nitty gritty of where I find my prospects, the actual ads that I run, the actual emails that I send out, the actual lead capture pages that I use, how I make an automated presentation, the actual tools that I use, how I run ads for free on places like CNN.com. You'll love that one. Would you like that? Would that be of help to you? Yes. Yes. I see an oh my God, yes. Okay. And this is stuff that I've never taught publicly. I mentioned this earlier. I've never done this before. This is stuff that I have usually I've taught to people that I've personally enrolled or to coaching clients who have paid $30,000 and more for me to sit down with them. And of course, this wouldn't cost you anywhere near that. So what I'd like to do is make you a special offer. And you basically have two choices here. You can say, wow, that was a great webinar. I learned a lot. I'm really glad I attended. And then you can go it alone and continue to do what you've been doing and maybe spend tens of thousands of dollars and years of your life trying to figure it all out like I did. Or choice number two, you can learn the predictable income model from someone who's not only done it and done it multiple times, but who's mastered it and is an expert on showing others how to do it too, which is by far the smarter choice to make. So I would like to invite you to become part of the Predictable Income Academy. This is an entire buffet of what I would do if I signed up in your company and how I would go from $0 to $100,000 a month starting tomorrow morning in your business. That's what this is about. Does that sound good? Okay, here's what you'll get. Number one, a clear, no guesswork blueprint for making the full shift from the old model to the predictable income model. Comprehensive step-by-step guidance. We're going to show you how to get a steady flow of prospects, people who want you to share your business with them. Market-tested strategies that we've used to create six-figure monthly incomes in record time, more than once. Okay? We're going to show you not just what to do, we're going to show you why to do it. So you're getting a lot more than just a list of instructions. You're going to understand how to actually do what we do and more importantly, why. You'll get proven strategies in persuasion, communication, how to develop rapport and affinity, and the skills that you need to equip yourself so that you can become irresistibly attractive to your prospects. I'll show you the results on demand method that I've used to qualify for free car bonuses, vacations, contests, exotic trips, you name it. Tips and tricks for increasing customer retention, lifetime value, how to create a loyal, enthusiastic tribe of people who love what you're doing and are happy with doing business with you. 7-figure processes that you can start using now, this week, immediately, not 4 to 6 months down the road. We're going to show you all the places I get my traffic. How do I find my prospects? Why I choose the sources that I choose. So that way you can use mine or you can find your own. But you'll never, ever, ever again wake up and wonder if you're going to have somebody look at your business today. And then, of course, we'll go into much, much greater detail on the things that we touched on in this webinar today. So the other thing is we cover a lot of, it's kind of like the housefly syndrome again, how he doesn't know the doorway's there. Well, there's a lot you need to know that you might not even know that you need to know. So we're going to cover all of this stuff. Okay, things like how to troubleshoot your business when you have a weird week, a down month, how to create a compelling offer, how to write killer headlines, how to balance business and family, how to use events to maximize your growth, how to handle negativity, banking, accounting, taxes. When you get to where you're making $60,000-$80,000 a month, you need to operate your business a little differently than you probably operate your personal checking account right now. We have conversations about that. And a lot of other stuff that I couldn't fit on the slide. So you're going to get also training strategies and coaching from my business partner, He's a best-selling author, John Lavinia. John is actually the first person that I ever met who was making over $150,000 per month. And he's done training and consulting for network marketers and network marketing companies, conferences and seminars all over the world. He and I have been friends and business partners for over a decade. You are going to really, really enjoy the opportunity to have John assisting you in your business alongside me. And we've got the entire academy put together in a very simple, easy to understand format that lets you go at your own pace. You're not going to be dragged along. We've organized it this way. The course curriculum is laid out in weekly video modules. You also get the transcripts and the slides for each module. We have live Q&A calls weekly. These calls allow us to get together so you can ask questions about anything you want to ask about the course, the curriculum, the training, but you can also ask questions about your company or your opportunity. Maybe your company's got a special car program and you want to, hey Tony, how can I hit this car program in the next 4 to 6 months? I want to surprise my wife for our anniversary. What would you do to hit this car bonus quickly? And we'll talk about it live, you and I. Okay? We have a private mastermind group. This is really special. It's a 24/7 environment where you get to mastermind with other academy members, but it also lets you critique ads. Like, you can post, hey, here's a headline that I ran. How would you improve it? Here's an ad. Here's my website. Here's an email. Here's a graphic. Here's a video. Here's a link to my funnel, right? If you've got something you'd like us to look at and give you advice on, this is the next best thing to hiring me for personal coaching. This is an opportunity to get real-time, real-world feedback, and it's included with your one-time academy tuition. I've also included some weird training. There's some worksheets and action guides and transcripts. There's an audio library I haven't really talked about, but pretty much everything that we can give you that would allow you to have the same kind of transformation that John and I have had. But we also want to include some things that are a little bit off the beaten path. Things like a free software tool that my prospects think I am the coolest network marketer they've ever encountered because of this one little free software tool that I use, and it absolutely delights them. They've never experienced anything like it, and it's the easiest thing for you to do. And I'll show you how to do it. I'll show you what it is. How to mobilize your team. I mentioned this earlier, how I run ads on CNN, Oprah.com, Mashable, HuffPost, you name it. I run ads for free on all these websites all the time, and it costs nothing. And I'll show you how to do it. I'll show you also, if you like the SimilarWeb, if you liked one of those tools that I showed you a moment ago, I'll show you some other ways that you can ethically spy on your competition or big players in your industry or your niche, other top marketers. I'll show you what I call cash on demand methods. This is fun for when you got a birthday or an anniversary, or you just want to do a nice surprise for someone in your family, and you say, you know, I'd like to go create an extra $5,000 and do something really cool for my anniversary next weekend. Or, my daughter's going to graduate college and I'd like to buy her a car. So I've got about 3 months here. Let me go create a burst of income so I can buy her a car and not have to touch this money in my checking account that I've already got saved up or whatever. Okay. Cash on demand is a fun game to play. And then case studies. You get to look over our shoulder at our businesses, and we'll show you actual campaigns and how we tweak them and how we improve how they run. And all of this is included. And there's a ton of other stuff as well. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the course that I wish I had when I was getting started. It's everything that John and I have done individually to earn millions of dollars in network marketing. And all you have to do is follow along. So today we are opening up the academy for you to grab your spot and start getting predictable results in your business. Now, I'm going to be really candid with you. when John and I were putting this together, we had a couple of directions we could go. Our first option was we could do it like private coaching. And in the past, John and I have both offered coaching and training packages that cost upwards of $30,000. I think the least we've ever charged somebody was $8,000. It's worth every penny, but we didn't want to do that here. We want this to be accessible to anybody. So our second option was we considered making it ultra cheap, like $97. And then everybody can buy it, and we have thousands of people in the academy. The problem there, though, is you wind up with thousands of people on a conference call, everybody wanting to ask questions. And I'll be honest, at $97, there's not a lot of incentive there for John and I to really stack up the value and invest a lot of personal time and energy like we like to do. So instead of going ultra cheap or, private coaching prices, we did decide to charge more and help you get more value. But we can only do this for those of you on the webinar today. So here's what we decided to do. You're going to get the entire Predictable Income Academy course. That's a $5,000 value. The live weekly coaching call, I priced that at $1,300. I think that's reasonable. The private mastermind group, I valued that at $1,200 a year. In other words, it'd be $100 a month if you had to pay for it. I have paid up to $300 a month to be in a mastermind that wasn't as valuable as this one. You also get a 7-figure audio library that you can learn and listen to while you're on the go. I didn't really talk about that much. Fantastic value. Retail value of all this is $7,900. But before I show you how to basically steal this whole package from us, let me show you some unadvertised bonuses that we've added. Number one, we're going to give you our top converting sales funnels. The only thing better than knowing how to create automated sales funnels is for somebody else to create them, test them, prove them, and then give them to you for free. And these are our funnels. These are industry standard ClickFunnels format. We'll show you how to add them right into your ClickFunnels account with a click of a mouse. You can't buy these. Okay, we don't sell them. I've put a ridiculously low value here of $997, and this bonus is only available to the first 10 people who grab the Academy today. And I'm going to give you a link in just a moment. So if you want this, I would recommend be ready, because when I give you the link, you're going to want to hurry and make sure you lock in one of those first 10 spots. Number two, we're going to give you a 7-figure swipe file. A swipe file is a copywriting term. It's a collection of ads, headlines, bullet lists, guarantees, subject lines, scripts, video outlines, emails, sales copy, solo ad, you name it. Proven marketing materials that we've used to earn millions of dollars, and you get them all word for word. So you can copy them, you can adapt them, you can modify them, you can take inspiration from them. It's entirely up to you. It's a $997 bonus. We've never sold this. You can get this for free with the Academy today if you are one of the first 20 people to grab your spot. Number three, we're going to give you a subscription to the Inspired Media software platform. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail about this. I'll just say the short version, this is a platform that lets you create some of the most highly targeted and qualified leads you can imagine. I'm talking about prospects who they already know your name, they already know what business you're in, and they're asking you for information about how they can work with you. It is amazing. I have a friend named Christian who uses this. He's one of the first customers that we ever had and actually helped develop. He gets anywhere from 50 to 75 leads a day. That's all the advertising he does. He gets 50 to 75 leads a day like this for free. So we're going to give you a subscription to myInspired Media, and the retail value of that is $582. For years, John Lavinia hosted a series of what I like to call straight talk conversations. It was a series of ongoing conversations about the real work of what it takes to be a 7-figure earner. The attitude, the mindset, the principles involved, the strategies. Those conversations created some of the biggest success stories of the direct sales industry. If I called some of the names of people who used to be a student of John's conversations, you would recognize them. Some of them have actually gone on to start companies of their own. This is a 6-part collection of that series. You can't buy it anywhere. I don't think John actually still sells this, even on his own website, but you can have it for free as part of the Academy. This one is, we debated about including this one or not. We almost didn't put this in the bonuses. The $1 Million Rolodex is a list of our contractors. Contractors are vendors, people who, you ever wonder how top earners get as much done as we get done? It's because we have contractors, we have vendors, people that we use. And in the $1 Million Rolodex, John and I will give you our little black book of copywriters, graphic artists, SEO experts, traffic sources, VAs, event planners, video editors, photographers, you name it. This is our personal little black book of people that we use. And we're going to give you this. This is going to save you so much money and time. Just because if you ever need a logo designed, or if you ever need a video edited, or if you need somebody to design something for you, you don't have to worry about trying to figure out who to hire, and are they good, and are you going to get ripped off, and are they any good, and will they deliver on time? You just flip right over in our little personal black book, and you look down and say, oh, here's who John and Tony use. Okay? So that's what this is for. Now, let me say this too. We will unlock this bonus for you after 45 days. Okay? You're not going to get this one right away. You might be wondering, okay, why? Why is it locked for 45 days? And the reason why is because these contractors are so good that we still use them for our own businesses. So the last thing that I want to happen is for somebody to sign up for the Academy, cancel after a few days, and now they've got an entire list of all of our favorite vendors and contractors. And then the vendors and contractors all get bombarded and backed up, and now they're not available to do the work that John and I may need them to do. Okay, so basically we're controlling the flow of referrals to these guys so that A, they have more time to ease you into their workflow, and B, we're only referring people to them who are serious professionals who are not just kicking tires. Okay, so you'll get this bonus after 45 days of signing up, and it's absolutely priceless. We added a live event voucher. John and I have had some of our biggest breakthroughs at live events. And many of our students have had their biggest breakthroughs by being in a room of like-minded people. And so what we'd like to do is we would like to invite you to receive a $500 discount voucher toward our next live training event. So when we announce the next event coming up, you'll automatically be able to register for that event with a $500 discount off either the general registration price or the limited VIP registration. The VIP registration gets you a nicer experience at the event. It's a great event. You're going to love it. We always do them in nice places, fantastic locations, huge breakthroughs, great training. We bring in guest folks as well. But this will give you a $500 discount off the registration. And then number 7, we will give you a physical copy of our book, Enter the Lab. Last year, Business Labs Pro, our company, published this as a limited edition book for members of a private mastermind. And it's 279 pages of essays and transcripts and articles and recorded conversations between John and myself on everything from personal development to business mastery. Okay, so if you're a fan of having a physical book in your hand, this one's a limited edition book. When you lock in your spot today, we'll have Josh or Melissa ship you one of these out. If we run out, we'll do another limited run and make sure that everybody who gets started today does get a copy. Okay, so as you can see, we like to pile the bonuses on. So here's everything you're getting today. You're getting the course, the weekly call, you got the private mastermind group, 7-figure audio library, you get all of our funnels, you get the swipe file, the MyInspired Media platform, John's course called Black Belt Mentoring, you get the $1 Million Rolodex after 45 days, You get a $500 voucher for the live event, and then you get a limited edition copy of Enter the Lab. That is a retail value of $11,455. But you are not going to pay anywhere near that. In fact, it'd be a steal at $5,000, but we're not charging that either. So think about this. If all this did was finally put your business into positive cash flow and got rid of all your stress, wouldn't that be worth it? If that's all it did. If this allowed you to enroll one big producer every month, what's that worth to your business? $1,000 a month? $5,000 a month? $10,000? How much would it be worth to enroll a Tony Rush or a John Lavinia in your business just once a month with these methods, or once a week? Right? So you can see why the Academy would be a steal at $5,000. But what we decided to do is, for the general public, we said we would price it at $1,997. But for those of you who stayed on the entire webinar today, just because you've stuck around and you haven't left, some people, they just want quick tips and tricks, and they've left already, and that's fine. That's fine. I genuinely hope that I was of value to them. But you've stayed around. You've stayed around. You're special. And in a world of short attention spans, we like to reward people who are obviously committed to their business and they're serious about moving forward. So we want to do something extra for you. And that is this. We're going to let you get started now for just $997 today. And you should see a button that's appeared on the webinar. If not, you can go to this web address on the screen. I see that some of you are already clicking. Be aware there are bonuses that are available for the first 10, the first 20. But you should see a special promotional offer there with a timer. I'll be really candid with you guys. You will never see this price again offered to the general public. Okay, this is not what the general public sees. Like if you went to our main company website, you would see the full retail price. We will never sell this at a lower price than what you're getting today. So this is the same material that's earned me millions. It's earned John millions. And you're going to be able to get it for rock bottom pennies on the dollar. Okay, so our gift to you is to grab this copy of, grab your spot in the Academy for $997. So you basically have two choices here. Number one, you can do nothing, decline my risk-free offer in the webinar right now. It was great to meet you. Thanks for hanging out with me. You can go to bed tonight, wake up, and just keep doing, keep doing what you've been doing. Or you can accept my invitation, put up this small investment, and you can start getting predictable results starting today. And there's absolutely no risk to you, okay? If you don't find that the Academy is everything I've described, you can ask for your money back and you'll get it. We want to make this as simple as possible. Join the Academy. Go through the modules and the lessons. Pick my brain every week on our live mastermind call. Take all of our marketing tools and strategies and put them to work in your business. And if within 30 days you feel that this course and mastermind wasn't the right decision for you, just submit a refund request and we will give you a 100% refund. We truly want this to be no risk for you. In fact, all the risk is on us. You're getting my entire blueprint, the video lessons, real-time live feedback on your business every week. You're getting our actual sales funnels, everything I listed before. We're giving you all that while still giving you the opportunity at any point to say, no thanks, and get your money back. And that's as fair as we can possibly make it. You literally have nothing to lose. The real question is, are you serious enough about your success to let us help you? If the Academy even does 1/10 of what I've described today, this course completely pays for itself and multiplies your income exponentially. So if that's you, click the button on this page, join the Academy right now for just $997, and let's get you earning the income that you deserve. And congratulations, those of you who have already gotten started, welcome to you. You'll get a welcome email in just a few moments if you haven't already. It'll have all the login instructions that you need to get logged in and start start accessing your course. Let me share something with you that my mentor, Nick, I told you about earlier. Nick shared this with me years ago. He said, Tony, there's an infinite amount of money because it circulates. It never really goes away. Money replenishes. So you earn money this week, you spend it, it goes away, then more money comes in. Okay, money is constantly replenishing. Time doesn't work that way, right? You spend an hour, it's gone. You don't get that hour back. It doesn't replenish. When it's gone, it's gone. So you might be wondering, well, can I figure all this out on my own? And the answer is maybe, possibly. But if the question is, can you figure it out for less than $997 and years of trial and error? The answer to that question is no, you can't. You cannot do it. It cannot be done. John and I are going to take you by the hand, but we're going to give you what's taken us years and hundreds of thousands of dollars to learn. So this is an opportunity for you to invest a small amount of a renewable resource so that you don't have to spend a non-renewable resource. Does that make sense? Okay. Let me look in the chat box here and see if there's any questions I can answer. I'm going to put that there. Once again, this is a list of everything you're getting. I'm excited. We've never done this before. And some of the limited bonuses there are already reserved. So if you have not yet locked in your spot, you can do that with a button on this page. I believe that'll open in a new window, or you can just go to the web address. By the way, if you have questions, our moderator is still manning the chat role and doing a fantastic job. But if you've got a question that you'd rather not ask in front of a lot of people, or if you'd like to inquire about paying with PayPal or other options, here's what you can do. You can go to businesslabspro.com, and you should see a button in the lower right-hand corner that'll let you open a live chat with our support staff. I think it's an orange button. Looks like a little bubble. Anyway, you can open a live chat, and they can answer any questions that you have about the course, about payment options, or if you need to pay with PayPal, they can assist you with that. And let me also say this too. I hope you know, after you and I spending this much time together, that I'm a normal person. Okay? Sometimes there's a perception that wealthy people or top earners or some special breed or aliens from another planet maybe. Listen, I'm just a regular guy, okay? I love my wife. I get up in the morning and I make my kids breakfast. My hair's getting a little thinner on top than I would prefer. Okay? I mean, I'm just a normal person. The only difference between you and I is that I have learned how to make an incredible income in network marketing without all the hassles. And I love teaching other people how to do it. And I am genuinely excited to make this training available to you. And it's never been made available publicly before. Okay, so I'm really excited about that. So if you're like most people, you're struggling to generate more leads, we've solved that. You're struggling to develop a system that creates predictable results, that's solved. You want to reduce your stress and your workload, done. Enroll more people every week in a way that actually makes sense to your prospects and gets them excited, that problem's solved. You want to break through to the income you deserve, it's here. This is it. Okay? My friend, if a former bookstore clerk can do this, I am pretty sure you can do this too, okay? But you've got to take action right now, okay? Joseph is asking, do you guys do personal one-on-one coaching? Hey, Joseph, thanks for your question. The short answer is yes. It's a very limited basis, and there's usually a waiting list. I don't think we included that option on the order form. That's a very different product. That's not a $997 opportunity. That's basically where John and I would sit down with you, look at your business, talk about your goals, develop all your marketing materials for you, our programmers, our staff, our graphics people. Okay, so obviously we don't do that for $997. If you want to check with our office and see if that's an option for you, you can go to businesslabspro.com and click the live chat box down in the lower right-hand corner and just let them know that you're interested in private coaching or consulting. Here's the thing, though. I mean, if you need that and we're available, we'll get together and see if it's a fit. We turn down some people and others we don't. But that's really not what most people need. Okay, we've purposely designed the Academy so that you can learn how to do what we do for a fraction. And of course, today, because you've stayed on the entire webinar, we're also giving you a 50% discount off the full retail price of what we would charge the general public. So we've still got people locking in their spots. Congratulations to you guys. I am looking forward to working with you personally and seeing you on the mastermind calls. Well, folks, it has been an honor to spend this time with you. I'm going to leave this open for another little bit. The timer's still ticking here. If you have not yet locked in your spot, I encourage you to do that now. I appreciate all the kind words. My goal was for everybody who attended today to get something that would make their possibility in network marketing greater than it was before they got here. So I truly hope that's been the case for you today. Congratulations to everybody who's joined the Academy. You'll be receiving welcome instructions in just a few minutes if you haven't already, and I will look forward to working with you personally. And if you have not yet locked in your spot, you can push the button here or go over to predictableincomeacademy.com/promo and get that locked in. Once again, my name is Tony Rush with Predictable Income Academy and Business Labs Pro. It has been an honor to invest this time with you today. I hope you make it a fantastic day. You absolutely deserve it.